The Run Crew series continues with Baltimore's own A Tribe Called Run. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Runway Podcast. I am your host, Kim. If this is your first time tuning in, welcome to the show. If you are a return listener, welcome back to the show. I truly appreciate you tuning into the Run Wave each and every week. We are continuing the Run Crew series. Next up, I have Baltimore-based Run Crew, A Tribe Called Run. If you are a hip-hop head, then you know where that name comes from, and I love it. I had the pleasure of chatting with the founder, Will. He created this Run Crew, believe it or not, during the pandemic, and they are just growing and making waves in the city of Baltimore. Every week, the crew is just getting bigger and bigger. They have built a unique community. They are a multicultural crew, so they have a little bit of everything in their crew, and I love it. So get to know Will and A Tribe Called Run right now. Please welcome William Walker, leader of A Tribe Called Run. Welcome to the show, Will.
Thanks so much for having me. Definitely appreciate it.
Now, do you prefer William or Will?
Will.
Okay, because I know some people, I'm Kimberly. Most people don't call me that, but I say call me what you wanted. But I know people have their preferences, so.
Oh yeah. No, you gotta make people call you what you want them to call you, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's just
Okay.
like you don't want to. You just want to let people know who you are, be strong and confident about it. So it's Will all day.
I hear that. So where are you from?
I'm originally from Cleveland, Ohio, but I've lived in Baltimore for about 20 years. So, Baltimore is home now. Come to love it. Appreciate it. It's the city that's definitely made me over these last 20 years. So, I'm a Maryland. I guess you could say I'm officially a Marylander now.
Now, how do you get from Ohio to Maryland?
So I attended school here. I attended Morgan State University. One of the greatest HBCUs in the world, I know a lot of people might want to recruit that. I can see that little wink in your eye real quick. But
Listen, I didn't go to I went to a regular old state school, so I have nothing to comment on that.
No doubt. Hey, I believe in my HBCUs strong and proud, so I got to stand up for it with confidence,
Okay, I hear that. So you stayed around in the Maryland area then?
Yeah. I had an internship co-op going into my senior year. Worked there a bit, stuck around for grad school, and found a job in my career field. So it was just like, all right, I'm here. I ain't going back home. So Here we are.
What is your career field?
I'm an industrial engineer. I work in the defense industry. So pretty much I just do like a lot of project management type of work now, overlooking programs just to make sure they're like staying on budget and making sure they're not spending too many hours in the factory according to what they proposed. So yeah, that's about it in a nutshell based on what I can share.
Wait, so I thought that you were going to come on here and say you were a chef.
I mean, I moonlight as a chef, but
because I'm greedy, I'm a foodie, so I was like, yeah, this is chef.
I can dig it. I can dig it.
Talk about some food.
The thing that are paying the bills right now is the engineering. No, I mean I do have a huge passion for cooking. I started. Well, I mean, definitely. I guess it's almost like every chef's tale, right? I started in the kitchen with my mother and grandmother, but it was definitely started off with my grandmother very young. And then both of my parents worked, so they kind of relied on me to cook a few meals in high school while I was in high school. So kind of got the feel for it then, and then in college it was just survival. But throughout that, a lot of friends started tasting my food. It was like, hey man, you can get down. So a few years ago, let's say probably like 2015 or so, 2016, there's a local cafe here called Dovecote Cafe. They asked me to come in and do like one of their chef takeovers, and I pretty much like never looked back since. So definitely doing a lot of private engagements, through a number of like my own brunches. with a local furniture company, which I got this amazing chair from, by the way.
That's nice.
Thank you. But it is great because all of these companies are black owned cafe, black owned furniture company. So it was great to like build community with these places, and them opening a door for me to even share a passion of mine. You know, a lot of us, I'm sure, even as a runner or a podcaster, and like, whatever your full time job may be, sometimes we may feel like we have imposter syndrome and things like that. Um, so it was great to have these, you know, local, reputable, black-owned businesses to like reach out to me and allow me to, or wanted to collaborate with me. So that kind of got my forte into doing the chef thing going. Um, Focused on doing a lot of meal prep work, but once the pandemic hit, that kind of put a damper in it, and just had me refocusing my energy. So right now it's just focusing on the full time, focusing on the Tribe Called Run, and you know, we'll see. We'll see if I feel like channeling the energy back into, you know, the chef thing heavy like I was before. So, you know.
Come on. I looked at the brunch and burn.
Yes.
I was
Oh
like, I want
yeah.
to do the brunch and burn.
Forgot to
Like,
mention the
what?
brunch and burn. That was so. That was like
Yes.
that was definitely a forte of combining the passion of athletics and food with my buddy Tony Sutton. He's a physical trainer. So and that idea actually came about. Actually, I had been attending some of his boot camps on Saturday, and as soon as I got out of boot camp, I was like, I'm hungry, I'm starving. It really wasn't anything in the area, or if it was, it wasn't the healthiest thing to eat. So, you know, just like the next idea was like, hey man, let's make something happen. So reached out to him and we came up with I reached out to him about coming up with the idea of brunch and burn, and that took off for a while. And that was another thing that I can say that, you know, unfortunately COVID put a damper on, because it's definitely based on building that community, you know, working out together, then breaking bread together afterwards, you know, family style servings. Um, COVID definitely, it's not something that you definitely want to do in COVID, just to be on the safe side, because it's very intimate, and you know we can't have anybody suing us. We ain't built for that right now, you know. So you know, it's something I definitely want to revisit. I guess once things are a bit clearer, and I guess as more folks get vaccinated and things of that nature. But yes, you know, something that's on the back burner, but definitely something to kind of pave the way, of knowing that I could start building community, especially in a space when it came to physical fitness for folks here in Baltimore, especially in the Black community. So yeah, yeah.
Well, I hope you bring it back when, COVID takes a hike. So I might be able to take a trip down the turnpike and join you guys for an event. That would be
Listen,
dope.
you will be the first one I let know when it's popping. I got you. I got you.
So, what got you into running? When did you start this long distance running thing
Ah,
that we
man.
torture ourselves with?
That's all the question you always ask yourself, like when, how, and why did I get into this, right?
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
um, it was probably roughly around 2017 was like the peak of kind of getting into it. I had always like I had the Nike app and would go on a few runs here and there, but it would only last for like a quick season, right? So maybe when it first get hot outside or when spring started, I would kind of dibble and dabble. But probably in 2017, I did my first 5K, which was actually from Morgan State. It was to supply, I bet, scholarships for students that wanted to study abroad. So I did my first 5K, and I think I had like a 9:30 time, and I was like, hold up, I'm faster than this, G. I got it. No, I can't. I can do better than this. And you know, just it was this, no disrespect at all, right? Older gentleman that nice round stomach. Like I say, he probably had to be about 50, 55 for real, right? And when I say like he was looking at me on the route, he's like, all right, come on, young buck, you can do this. I was like, hold up, nah, man. So it was like after I finished that race, it was like, all right, I gotta get serious about this. I gotta redeem myself, and it picked up a bit. And like once the winter came, I wasn't ready to that whole transition. So 2018, Um, Unfortunately, I had went through like a rough breakup, and it was just like the thing that I needed to like just help me focus. So like very consistently since 2018, I've just been locked in on the long distance running journey and haven't looked back since.
So what is the longest distance that you've done to date?
Longest distance to date? Not much really. I think the longest I've actually done is like 15 miles. That's probably been my longest run so far. So I'm still looking to add. I think. Well, actually, I was scheduled for a marathon, actually May of last year, but of course that got canceled and pushed back. They were trying to do it in person this May, but they pushed it back again just to be on the safe side. So they're looking at
Which
fall.
race is this?
Cleveland Marathon.
Okay.
So yeah, I wanna do the first marathon back home. Um, so yeah, Cleveland Marathon. They're pushing it back to 2021. I guess they've got to work out some logistics to make sure it's not the same weekend as the Cleveland Browns home game. So once we find that out, I'll start prepping again for to do 26.2 miles. But as of right now, as long as this has only been 15 miles.
That's longer than most people can do. So don't say only.
True, true, true. I guess I'm just surrounded by so many athletes that's like, I got, got 9 marathons under their belt. I see all the medals in the background back there,
Uh-huh. I've
Uh-huh.
been racking them up for a lot of years,
I
though.
see you. I see you.
I was trying to look because I know that a couple of guys they're trading for a marathon in Toledo.
Oh, okay.
How far is that from Cleveland?
It's about 2 hours. Well, roughly 2 hours.
And they are saying that it's in person, and it's like next month in April.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Well, it's this month actually, April 24th.
Okay.
So I don't know if that's happening, but maybe that's one. It's not in Cleveland, but it's close.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I love Toledo, but it's right there on the corner of Michigan. So if anybody knows anything about Ohio State versus Michigan, that big rivalry, I actually got a lot of friends from that area. So and sometimes they sway towards being a Wolverine fan. So it's hard to even claim them as true Ohio State Buckeyes when they grow up in the state, live in the state. Like, how you rooting for them, man? Like, so Toledo it's got that. It's hard to classify Toledo for me. It's still part of the state, but it's a weird relationship with some folks up there.
So you're gonna keep it in Cleveland.
I'm gonna keep it in Cleveland. Got it all day. 216 all day.
I hear that. So I wanted to have you on the show because you have a run crew called A Tribe Called Run.
Yes.
And if anyone listening to this podcast is a hip hop head, we probably know kind of where that name came from. But why did you choose that name for your crew?
Honestly, I mean, you really just hit it on the head. I mean, a huge fan of A Tribe Called Quest. But it honestly is probably more so driven from the collective that they were a part of, Native Tongues crew. So that was Jungle Brothers, De La Soul, Tribe Called Quest, Moni Love, Queen Latifah. But I guess if you put another reference to it, back to the '80s with the cartoon Voltron, it's just like every time they mobbed up and linked up, it was just always like when you look in the videos, it was just like it just looked like it was. Can I cuss on here? I'm sorry. Or is this
curse away?
Okay?
This is
I just got to make sure.
There's no ratings on the podcast.
All right, bet. But every time that you saw them like link up in the videos, it just looked like it was a good, fun ass time, and it was like honestly, that was just like if I do a run crew or anything like that, that's like the spirit that I wanted to be embodied as a part of the run crew. Definitely, it's just a good, fun, genuine time of people from so many different walks connecting together, and just in the spirit of running and hopefully building towards better things in the future. So that's ultimately where it came from.
So you're a fairly new, not totally new, but fairly new runner. You have a few years under your belt. What made you want to start a run crew?
Conversations with a number of folks around town that I was either friends with on social media or friends with in real life. Just different conversations of just like run crews, around the city, just different aspects of, um, our, scheduling, just the vibes that we felt with the run crews, it just like, and ultimately, I think it was just like, well, you like to run, I like to run, we like to run, why don't we run
Mm-hmm.
together? Um,
Mm-hmm.
but it honestly, I can't even say that I didn't even really know that this was going to happen the way it did. Um, the conversation came up, but it really started from just running with a few homies. And like I said, just
Mm-hmm.
reaching out to the few folks that I was either friends with on social media, or in real life that just I knew was into running. So it's amazing to kind of like see just what's happened. Um, so I can't even say it was just like I had a plan or a vision or a goal and I wrote it down of like I'm going to start a run club. This is why I'm going to do it. This is how I'm going to do it. It was just like just a few conversations of, well, if we did start one, what you think about that, or what would you like to see, and what are some things that we can bring to the table, um, that that may be different, and if or may not be different, just um, so yeah, that's I guess that's how we got here.
Well, did you feel like something was missing in the Baltimore running scene? Because there are other crews in
Yeah.
Baltimore
Oh,
already that you could have. Did you run with another crew at first?
I actually ran with Riot Squad. I know you've had them on
Okay.
interview.
Mm-hmm.
Great crew. And honestly, if scheduling wasn't a problem, I would probably still be running with them today. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but I can't say anything was missing. Um, but that I don't know either. Right? It's
Mm-hmm.
like, so if I can be completely honest with you, I didn't like running
Mm-hmm.
with people. I'm gonna be all the way 100 with you.
Wait, how you don't like running with people, but you start a run crew?
Exactly, right? So, so as I mentioned to you, it was, and to take from Riot Squad's their name, running really was like a form of therapy for me. So
Mm-hmm.
it was a way to just clear my mind with everything that I had going on, whether it was work, as I mentioned to you, like early in the start, it was just like my breakup and things like that. Um, I was actually in therapy, and my therapist was like, "Yeah, keep running. It's probably a great thing. You're boosting the endorphins and things like that. It's clearing your mind." So it was really that like that me time that, and I think a lot of us probably don't realize that it is a great me time that you probably don't get. I'm sure when you get home from work and you gotta cook dinner for the kids and things like that or whatever, it's like
I get no me time. No,
yeah, yeah, right. So it's
none.
like running is probably like that me time, and you
Mm-hmm.
don't even get to realize how pure and enjoyable of a moment it is, um,
Mm-hmm.
until other people are like, yo, what's up? You want to? I'm trying to run with you. I'm like, whoa, hold up, chief. I'm like,
This is
so it
my
was like,
time.
yeah, yeah, right. So
Mm-hmm.
it was like it was hard to like even invite people in my space to want to run. Like like one of my best friends. That was actually another reason that this actually started. But it was like he was like, "Yo, what's up, man? Let's get out here." And I'm just like, I was ducking and dodging him left and right, um, because it was still just trying to figure out, you know, can I give up this time that's so critical to me and my development to get me over whatever I was dealing with at the time, right? Um, but yeah, it just running with Riot Squad a bit kind of opened my mind to it. It was like, all right, running with people actually ain't that bad. And then, me and my buddy, we actually finally did connect to do some
Mm-hmm.
runs, and it was like, damn, all right, it feels good to actually have fellowship. So we used to be roommates, and it was finally his family was getting bigger. It was finally time for me to move out, get my crib and things like that. So we really hadn't been hanging out like that, just the typical adult things.
Life. Mm-hmm.
So it was good to connect again, like it was just old times and just talk and shoot the shit. So it just felt good. So it just like, okay, it might not be bad bringing other people into the fold and doing things like that. So, and like I said, just building on conversations and things like that, and essentially, here we are, what, 7, 8, 9 months later, with a run crew that's growing, and we'll see where it goes.
Mm-hmm. So what's the like the racial makeup of your crew? Is it a bunch of brown folks running around? You got a mixture.
Very mixed. very mixed. It's like the caramel and cheddar cheese popcorn. It's a whole mixed bag. Um, you know, which is, I mean, I never saw it happening. But I embrace it. I definitely embrace it. It's been cool to fellowship with folks from other walks of life as well. We got Black, Asian, Latinx. I'm trying to think what else I'm missing. I hope I'm not missing anything else. I hope they don't kill me for this. Um, but
Everybody.
yeah, everybody. But we've definitely got a number of members from the LGBTQ community. I'm sure some other acronyms that I'm missing on the end of that, but it's definitely a mix of a lot of people from a number of different walks of life, and it's interesting because you learn a lot. You learn a lot about yourself, and um, it's definitely been interesting. I think for a lot of people to probably see just how much they've grown with interacting with all of these different folks from either the different racial makeups or just like their looks and their beliefs, right?
Now that's interesting because being an outsider, all I know about Baltimore is like The Wire.
Mm-hmm. Which
Baltimore.
I ain't gonna. I don't want to call you out right now. I'm not even from here, but I hate when people say, "No, you know."
But that's all you know,
right?
Like,
yeah, I know.
It's not like a big city. It's not like a vacation spot. Like people don't travel there. Like so.
I mean, we got the harbor. Everybody come down and kick it at the harbor at least once. You feel me?
No.
You ain't buying it. All right.
No, like I've been through Maryland. Like I did a race in Maryland one time, and I go through Maryland to get down south. But I don't think I've ever like stayed, in Baltimore. I've been to DC. I stayed in DC, but when I think of Baltimore, I think it's black. I don't even. Yeah. I wasn't expecting you to say that your crew was mixed because I think of Baltimore as like a majority black city.
It is. It's 60.
So that's interesting, though.
Yeah, I think the last time I looked at the stats, it was like 63%. It's still a black city. It's still a 63% black city. I mean, but I'll say this.
But how do you advertise? How do you market to get like a multicultural group like that?
We didn't market it to get it like that, right? It happened. I just been straight up serious with you. Like I say, it really started out with a group of homies. To rewind real quick, the Baltimore running community is very integrated, though. It's very integrated to the fact of people just like to run and like to see other folks run and like want to know who the other runners are. So there's a number of crews, all white crews, all black crews, mixed crews with older folks, crews that are based off of diets. It's literally a big mix of folks that have different type of run crews here. But like I say, it started out with just a group of homies, which was roughly probably 90% black people, one Latinx guy, and I think maybe even just one girl on the first run. Then like the next run, one of the guys that after you post on social media and they see you running, like, oh shoot, y'all mobbing up for a run. It's like, I want some of this action. And then there was a couple white folks joined. You know what I'm saying? Actually, one of my buddies in the crew, his name's Dave. He brought one of his friends, so him and her joined, and it started to spread. And it was one day that I think it rained, and it was only 4 of us, and we all took our shirts off for whatever reason. We was like, we just gonna make it sexy, right? And mind you, maybe it was 4 of us. 2 of us was probably the only 2 that should have been taking their shirts off. Shout out to my boy Chavo.
Did you post that picture?
It's on. I think it's on my page, my personal page. It should be on the. It should be on the main page too. But like I say, me and my boy Chavo, we was like, we held it down for the folks that ain't been in the gym crazy like that. But one of the guys, the guy Dave, he posted it to his page literally as soon as we finished, and the place where we start our Monday night runs. Our house, they saw it and tagged it, and they reposted it, and everything kind of like spread like wildfire since then. And it was like, honestly, every week it was constant growth. I mean, you think in the middle of a pandemic, people haven't been anywhere. So this was like an excuse to get outside, to connect with people, and in a safe manner. So to be honest with you, I'm gonna give some credit to our house. They did a lot of heavy lifting with just spreading the word, and that's a local like food hall. So very popular. It's probably got about 20,000, 30,000 some followers, maybe even something more than that. But I definitely give credit to that, to probably open. That's probably the big reason why it opened up to such a huge demographic of folks. But I mean, once people came and started running, they just felt the vibe of it too. So it's just always, as I mentioned earlier, we just made sure that we wanted to have good vibes and just have a good ass time when we ran. So, post run, we got the cooler full of water, cooler full of beer, and we just hanging out a bit, And again, this is something that nobody's been able to do for what, 4 months, 3 or 4 months, I guess, when the pandemic shut everything down. So it was a good change of pace for people, I think.
So you started a crew during the pandemic,
Yeah, yeah.
which is like I spoke to another run crew, and they said that their membership actually boomed during the pandemic as well, because people just had nothing to do, and running, just so many newbies picked up running because that was one of the only things that we can go out and do like safely. So I think it's great that you guys came up during this time, because you'll always have an interesting story to tell about how your crew was formed.
Definitely. I mean, like I said, again, I can't even, I never envisioned this. I'm still like flabbergasted over like the growth that we've experienced. Excuse me. One of our captains, Tiffany, big shout out to Tiff. Like, she just sent me a text the other day. Like, I just wanted to, send you a shout out and just acknowledge just like the growth of our crew and everything that's happened, and just like the things that we're bringing to the forefront of like just bringing the folks together. But, and it's, big shout out to the captains, right? They're holding me accountable. They're coming up with great ideas and supporting and also making it a great experience for everyone. So, and they are looked highly upon throughout the members of the crew. So it's like people are finding family and friendships through this run crew in the middle of a pandemic where they can't see their family on a regular basis, right? They can't go up and hug mom or grandma, but probably could have lost a few family members. So it's almost been like a saving grace to folks to a degree. And it's just, and I realize the responsibility that comes with that. So I don't take it lightly, and I definitely try to make sure everything that we do, not everything, but I try to make sure that it's good, positive vibes, good, positive energy, and also try to make sure that we give back to the community too. I think it's very important because, the community's opened up its arms to us. We live in a city that beautiful city. But, folks in the city still need help with things. So we've done our job to try to do fundraising and things like that, just to do whatever we can to give back to the city in a time like this. But it's amazing to realize, like, even now, just thinking about like, wow, yeah, I guess we did start a run crew in the middle of a pandemic. Wow, yeah, I can't even. I'm sorry, I'm taking it in myself. Yeah, it's just beautiful to just like see the community that's been built, and it's something I can't take for granted.
Yeah, I love it. And I love that your crew is multicultural, because when I started with a black running group because I wanted to run with people that look like me. But, as I've been in running for years and years, now I'm a member of a multicultural group, and it's different. I love my people, but it's just nice when you can get to know other cultures, other types of people, and, it's worlds coming together that probably wouldn't have. Maybe at work, you'll
Right.
be around, different people.
And at 5, you're trying to run
social,
out of there.
right?
Right.
But this is like, this is my time. Like you said, this is my time now, and it's nice to get to know other cultures, other types of people. So yeah, you didn't start, that wasn't your purpose, but I commend you for having that type of run club, because it builds unity too, especially in this current cultural time that we're in.
Oh yeah,
You know.
it was. It's amazing to just hear like you to hear people just be comfortable, like being themselves. And I think I hate to say it, like even as 30-some-year-old adults, we're still struggling to find that like just who we are and things like
Mm-hmm.
that. So it's amazing to hear people just to say like, oh, it just feels so great to just come here and feel safe and feel
Mm-hmm.
comfortable around the folks that I interact with and run with on a regular basis. And we it kind of goes back to that. You never know what people are dealing with, and we just see a little portion of what they're dealing with, either via social media or the time that we
Mm-hmm.
interact with them. Which for us is could be 3 days out the week, could be one. So those other 4 to 7 days out of the week, we have no idea what's bothering these folks, plaguing these folks. And for somebody to say like, man, that 1 hour or 2 hours or however long it was that we ran for the day, that I feel safe and I feel comfortable, that's like, it's mind blowing to hear that. Because
Mm-hmm.
how many times do you hear people say I feel safe and comfortable around you, unless it's your child or something like that, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
like for people to just like, I feel really safe in your presence. Um, knowing I have a home, it's amazing to hear. So again, I know that comes with a lot of responsibility too, to continue to provide that type of atmosphere and making sure that everybody respects everybody, and you know make sure that's the way that we continue to push forward.
You're building a community, and that community turns into family,
Yeah,
right?
seriously,
Sometimes you spend more time with people that you run with it than your own family.
that's real. That's real.
Mm-hmm.
That's real.
So you mentioned that you had coaches. What is the structure of the crew? Do you have captains, coaches, run leads? How do y'all break it down?
So honestly, what we're in month 9, I think 8 or 9. So I'll be honest with you, we're still figuring that out. We've got a number of captains that serve as like focal points for the runs. Um, Actually, we just called a captain's meeting this month. We're going to get
Mm-hmm.
together for a run to just kind of start discussing um, more roles and responsibility and expectations as captains, because the crew's getting bigger. Like I said, I think when we had originally started, it was kind of like captain's sake and name of like, hey, look for these folks on the run so you don't get lost, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, or when we would have events, like, everybody chipping in to take a task for the day of the event. But with the growth of the group, and like I said, just trying to make sure that we continue to provide a good service or experience when people attend, it's definitely, I think we're trying to work on um, nailing down more roles and responsibility and just the expectations out of the captains from week to week. So we're still defining that, and I think that's okay. I definitely don't want to come out here and act like we got it all figured out, because we don't.
Mm-hmm.
We're still new, and you're allowed to make mistakes and you're allowed to learn. So that's kind of the stage that we're in right now. But the team is
Mm-hmm.
amazing. Can I give them a shout out real quick?
Yes, go ahead.
Big shout outs to Tiff, April, Ali, AP, Brian, Chavo. This team, like, they've been amazing. Like I said, definitely stepping up when asked. Um, like bringing things to light, things that I would have never thought of. And I love the fact the women on the crew are in the captain leadership role. They're outspoken and so intelligent, because they definitely bring things to light that I never have to deal with, or us, the males on the crew, never have to deal with,
Mm-hmm.
that we would
Mm-hmm.
never consider on a run and things like that. So just in the terms of safety, um, just like keeping in mind of, you know, not getting people split up or trying to pair people up and things like that. Um, Catcalling and things like that as we run through the city. So, they bring a lot of this stuff to our mind that, like I said, as guys, we never think about. It's never a problem for us. Not too often you hear guys getting catcalled by women because of the shorts they had on, right? So,
No.
it's something
Well,
that
if they're topless and they look good,
true.
That's a different
True.
story.
But well, I guess I've never experienced that. I can't, um, but like I said, they're definitely bringing things to light that we just don't experience, and it's great to have that perspective because I think that's a reason why some of these people now come here and say they feel safe and feel protected and know that people in the crew are looking out for them, either on a run or just in their personal being and space, to make sure nothing would happen to them.
So you mentioned running through the city. What is it like to run through? Well, what area are you in Baltimore proper?
Yeah.
Because I know there. People say like people think of New York and they think of Manhattan. Like Manhattan is not all of New York. So
Right.
where do you run?
So I'm trying to think of what you would classify. We're a little bit, I guess, almost uptown, but I'm not sure if you're familiar with Johns Hopkins University. We're not too far from there. Our base, like I said, we on Mondays we met at an area called Our House. Well, actually, we meet at a few locations. Our Monday night run, which is Never Miss a Monday. Shout out to Never Miss a Monday. We start at Our House, which is the food hall that's located in the Remington neighborhood. So there's been a lot of development going on in that area. But like blue collar area part of town, but a little adjacent to Johns Hopkins University. Wednesday mornings we do speed work at the Baltimore Polytechnic High School / Western. We do speed work at their track, and then Saturday mornings we've added a long run, which takes place. We meet at the steps on the Baltimore Museum of Art. So everything is in Baltimore City proper. And we run a number of different routes throughout the city. So trying to there's actually I guess there's a saying going around, not a saying, but what do you call it? What are the things that the professors call their work? A thesis or something like that, or their research?
Thesis is like what we're going to do.
Okay, all right, that's not what I'm looking for. You know what I mean, though, right?
What are you looking for?
Ideology.
Uh-huh.
Actually, the professor, he's a professor at Morgan. I believe his name is Lawrence Brown, and the ideology or theory is called the white ale and the black butterfly. So it's essentially like the racial makeup of the city and how it forms literally a straight L down the center of the city in Baltimore, and then like an L along the water, and then everything else in Baltimore City proper around that is like where are pretty much black neighborhoods. So we technically do meet in the white L. So a lot of our runs.
Wait, it's called the White L?
Yeah, because that's where most of your young urban professional white people live. Definitely still a lot of black people in the area, but
yeah,
this is like the area that you have where more of your white individuals in Baltimore City live. So and literally like after I saw it, I was like, wow, that is very accurate based off of the makeup. It's like where more of your higher income houses are, like where, pretty much like your higher income houses flow. Then, like I say, especially once you get down to the water in that L shape, like the Harbor East, Canton area, etc. It's very built up with large corporations. Got Legg Mason, Under Armour's got their shop and warehouse and all that stuff down there. Number of restaurants all on the water. So it literally makes a straight line down the center of the city, and then it curves an L. So like I said, right now we definitely do a lot of running in the L, but also I try to extend it to some areas in the black butterfly. But it's tough on the Monday run just because we're only doing roughly 4 to 5 miles, and then just trying to consider safety, time of day, things like that, how much road we have available. So the runs that go east to west, they definitely go into the black L. I'm sorry, the black butterfly. If it's a north and south run, it'll probably stay on the white L. But we are in Baltimore City proper, and it's great scenery to come and run here. But it's too many damn hills. That's that's the one thing that I don't know how much you know about Baltimore or any other run crews that talk about it. So many
Mm-hmm.
hills. If you come and do the Baltimore Running Fest, just get prepared for those hills on that half and the full marathon, whichever one you choose to do. But
Is that the one that gives the crab medal?
yeah, yep. Baltimore
I
Running
think that's
Fest.
the one
Yep.
that I was going to sign up for, but since you said that, I might reconsider.
I mean, it. I'll say this: it builds character. Put it like that. But it's
Mm-hmm.
it definitely builds character. But they're fun runs. It runs through so many unique neighborhoods. That's one of the great things I love about Baltimore. Are all of the beautiful and different unique neighborhoods here. Every
Mm-hmm.
neighborhood has like its own character. So it's beautiful to see. Um, Definitely get a lot of love from the people while we're out and about running. Like I said, get some cat calling too, but I guess that's to be expected. But I definitely love running through the city. I definitely appreciate it. I've come to grow and love this city a lot. So outside of the hills, wouldn't want to run any other place else.
Mm-hmm. So, what type of runner is welcome in your club? Do you have the speed demons? Can I come over there and walk my 5K? Like, who is the tribe called Run Runner?
All paces are welcome. We invite everybody. As you mentioned, especially with us starting during the pandemic, we just gathered a lot of people who were new to running, have been running for a while. So it was just like we welcome everybody. We all out here for the same reason, right? We all just want to get out here and run. Put our feet on the concrete and make it happen. So we definitely welcome people of all paces. So even for the folks that are on the tail end of the crew, we call it the caboose crew, held down by our Captain April.
Mm-hmm.
um, uh,
That's a good
so,
name.
yeah, it is. So, but they getting faster though. So it's the caboose crew might not be the caboose crew anymore. We might be looking for some new folks. But that's a good
That's
thing though, right? Every people
mm-hmm.
are
It is.
challenging themselves and becoming faster just with running with the crew. So it's a good thing to see.
Mm-hmm. Do you guys have any like races that you're looking at? I don't know, for the end of this year, maybe next year to do as a crew?
Baltimore Running Fest. That's been the big one
Mm-hmm.
that everybody's been talking about. So that takes place in October. I'm not sure
Mm-hmm.
the official date, but that's been the one that's been circling in the group chat that I think everybody has their eye on. Um, I think a few folks have mentioned. I think it's the king crab, which I believe is. Ooh, I don't want to misspeak, but I think it's like the Frederick Running Fest and one of the other. I think it might be the Baltimore 10 miler
Mm-hmm.
or yeah, I think it might be the Baltimore 10 miler, but don't quote me on that. So those are like the two that everybody in the crew has been talking about lately.
So when I come to Baltimore, because your girl likes to eat, right?
Hmm.
Where am I going and what am I eating? What is Baltimore known for?
Uh, Come on now, crab cakes.
I know about the crabs. I
Yeah,
know the
you gotta
crabs. I know that.
crab cakes. Get the bushel crab. I mean that's probably going to be the first thing that people take you to. I think it's a great thing that Baltimore is becoming to be known as like a foodie city, and it's been great to see just like a number of black-owned businesses pop up in the food arena. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so another shout out to Riot Squad. Post our long runs. A lot of the crews go down to Good Part and Co., which is owned by a Riot Squad runner. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. One of my buddies, he owns a spot called Orto. Like it's like a Italian based food. Let me see. I'm trying to think of some of the other places
Now I
here.
don't want to know what I like Italian, but I want like what it, I want it. I want my mouth to water. Like
I'm telling
I
you.
want to be able to go home and say Baltimore knock my socks off.
I mean, honestly, let me see. I'm trying to think of like I'm telling you, Orto will definitely deliver that. Let me
Mm-hmm.
see. Taste this, very good soul food place. Um, they are based on like North Ave, so that's not too far. We definitely run past them often. Um, Homemade, go there for brunch. Black owned spot, so that's in that's in the harbor. I guess technically Federal Hill, but it's in the harbor too. So black owned gentleman, he owns that, and he actually owns a vegan donut company called Cloudy Donut. So you can get some good sweets in as well. And then, like I said, there's really a number of black owned places. Honestly, one of my favorite spots is probably Dukem. That's an Ethiopian restaurant. Amazing food. Oh my goodness. I mean, cultural everything. It's beautiful. So, but like I say, it's definitely a lot of chefs like that are doing their own thing too. That's one of the, like I mentioned to you earlier. It's been a beautiful city. Not just honestly, if you're creative in this city, Baltimore is very welcoming to give you a shot and give you opportunity to let you make it. So a lot of chefs do like a lot of pop up dinners here, things like that. So I mean, just tap in. We can see what's going on that weekend that you come in, and we'll figure out where to go, what to do. All right.
Yeah, me and my bestie might have to take a trip down 95 and
Listen,
stuff our
please
faces
come.
for the weekend.
Please come. Please come.
Your visuals, like your logo, your visuals on Instagram. Who thought of the pink and the safety? Is that safety green? Who thought of that?
Yeah. So my girl came up with the logo, but I came up with the colors. So it was a tag
I hate
team
pink,
effort.
right?
Huh?
Pink is I love red, but pink is like my. But your logo looks dope. I like the pink and green together.
Thank you. Appreciate that. It was it was trying to be creative, right? And it would have been easy to do red, black, and green based off of Tribe Called Quest and the colors, right? That was the first thing most people would have thought of. But it was like, you know what? Let's work a little bit here. Let's try to think outside the box. But I like the colors. They're vibrant. You can still wear them and be bright, and you can still be seen for one when you're running. But they just lend to be dope when you throw on, what I'm saying, the pink hoodie or something like that. Throw on the safety green. You can rep the logo.
It stands out. It pops.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah. Big shout out to my girl for coming up with the logo design. Like I said, but I'll take credit for the colors.
Yeah, before we wrap up, I just want to say that I love what you're doing. It's nice to see new crews coming out because there's a lot of crews out there, but it's like you're growing, you're small, but you're growing. And it's just nice to see other people contributing to the running community and doing something different. It's the same, but it's different at the same time. And I like how you spotlight your members on your Instagram page. They're getting shout outs every week on your page, and you're acknowledging them by name and by image. And a lot of crews don't do that, and you're doing that, so I want to commend you for that as well.
Thank you.
You're doing good work.
Thank you. I just felt it was important. I mean, the crew, they're the ones that make it go around, right? So, it's only right to give back to them, let them get the shine, let them get the acknowledgement, because without them, where would we be? We wouldn't be here.
Definitely. But yeah, I want to thank you, Will, for being on the Runway podcast and sharing a Tribe Called Run story.
So
tell
much.
us where we can find you on socials, you and the crew.
Okay. So my personal Instagram is water, the letter N, oxygen, the two necessities of life. But a Tribe Called Run, Instagram, Facebook. We don't have Twitter. Do people even tweet anymore? I don't know.
I have Twitter, but I hate it.
Okay. I mean, I haven't done it in so long, so it's just I don't even know if people are still doing it like that. But
people still tweet.
Okay.
Twitter is live still, but I know what you mean.
Yeah, it's I mean, clearly the former president, he tweeted a lot, so But I just didn't know, like, do the younger folks that are cool still do that?
No,
not to say that I'm cool.
Instagram and TikTok. No.
all right. But yeah, just social right now. A Tribe Called Run on Instagram, same on Facebook. Working to build a website soon to try to add some more things. We've got a YouTube page, a Tribe Called Run on YouTube. So some of the videos that we've put together since we've been up and running. You can check them out either on our Instagram, but also on the YouTube page. But I think that covers it for all of the social places you can find us.
And if people want to run with you guys, like, how do you communicate?
People usually just send a message send a DM on Instagram or comment on one of the photos. But, like I mentioned earlier, Monday night, 6 p.m., our house, Wednesday, 6 a.m., Poly Western for speed work. And then our long runs are Saturday, 8:30 a.m. At the Baltimore Museum of Arts. The steps right there. And honestly, it's just show up, make sure you wear a mask, and come ready to work and come ready to run and have fun. We do not subscribe to any negativity at the start, during, or at the end of any of these runs. So make sure you bring the good vibes.
I hear that. So, with that being said, thank you again for being on the Runway Podcast. I will leave all of your details in the show notes so people can follow you. They can come check out the crew when the world opens back up and we can visit Baltimore. Do they call it Baltimore? Just like one syllable, Baltimore?
You probably do it better than I do, so yes.
All right, we're pronouncing it Baltimore. We're going to come to Baltimore, check out the crew, and bring the good vibes.
Definitely.
To the tribe.
Definitely. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much for acknowledging our crew. We definitely appreciate it. Shout out to the whole A Tribe Called Run crew. Shout out to all of the amazing crews here in Baltimore. We definitely love you guys for embracing us. And yeah, thank you, man. We just continue to see where this goes, and we're waiting for you to come down 95 and get a run in with us.
I'm coming.
Bet.
I'm coming to eat.
I'm gonna hold you to it
first. We'll run on Sunday.
Okay, that's a bet. That's a bet.
All right. I hope you enjoyed learning about A Tribe Called Run. I will leave all of their details down below so you can connect with the group, follow them on Instagram, on Facebook. And if you're ever in the Baltimore area, look them up and go out for a run with their crew. They welcome everyone into the fold. So thank you again for tuning in to this episode of the Runway Podcast, and I will catch y'all on the next one. Later. Thank you so much for tuning into the show. Be sure to subscribe to The Runway on your favorite podcast app and leave us a review of the show on Apple Podcasts. It would really help me out. If you are a runner that has a story to tell and you would like to be on the show, you can email hello@therunwave.com or send us a DM on Instagram to The Runwave. See you next time.